Just over 7 years ago, I officially went pro in Fortnite and achieved my biggest dream. And since then, I've made over $1 million just by playing competitive Fortnite. Even though the game is different from when I first started, the principles needed to go pro are still the same. If you're watching this video, chances are you're in school or working. This means that you have to figure out how to manage your time correctly so you can optimize the time you have playing. Don't worry, many pros including myself had to do this, and it's just a small step in your pro journey that you will have to get over. This is exactly why you should create a schedule to follow every single day so you can have some nice structure around your path to being a pro. I would start by building everything around your school or work schedule. Let's say you attend school or work at your job 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Make sure you allow yourself at least an hour to get situated at your setup when you get home. This will drastically be different for everyone based on their own lives, but make sure it fits within your lifestyle and your schedule. You need to be able to improve at the game as fast as possible and really lock in on getting that good practice. Getting down the core aspects of the game like aim and mechanics are the first part to rapidly improving. Luckily for you, I've made many videos on this channel on exactly how to do that. So when you're done watching this video, they'll be right in the description waiting for you. A few hours of good practice like tokens, zone wars, scrims, mechanics, and aim training always will beat long hours of bad practice like playing ranked mindlessly for hours on end. And that's another reason that you want to pre-plan your practice before you get on. Let's say I have 3 hours to play. I'm going to spend 1 hour warming up or free building, 1 hour playing tokens or scrims, and then I'm going to spend my last hour VOD reviewing the things that I did in those 2 hours. If you're not sure how or what VOD reviewing is, don't worry, I will teach you exactly how to do that later in the video because VOD reviewing is the ultimate route to fast improvement and can stop the endless cycle of average performance and not getting better. Now, all of this is great, and time management is definitely one of the most important aspects of going pro in Fortnite. However, since team game modes are going to be in Fortnite for the foreseeable future, you need to be able to find good teammates, and here's how. Finding good teammates to actually play and grind with is much easier said than done, but don't worry because I'm going to walk you through exactly how I found good teammates and how you can as well. Every single teammate I've played with, whether it be Elevate, Day, Bizzle, pretty much every teammate of mine was actually a good friend of mine before we started playing. Making friends and connections to like-minded players is vital to your success as a player. Be social, play tokens with people, and just start out by interacting with different friend groups. Now you may ask, Cease, how do I make friends and how do I find people to play with? That very question and many others can all be answered in the Cease's Thesis Discord server. My Discord server is a community of players looking to improve and grow towards being a pro. You'll be able to find the perfect players to be around and get better with. I'm going to show you how to use my server to your full advantage, but also other servers as well, where you can not only find good teammates, but get meaningful practice in, elevate your journey to being a pro. Think of a Discord as a hub where every Fortnite player from someone sitting in bronze to top tier pros connect. This is one of the most important tools you need to learn to use to kickstart your path to being a pro. You need to be able to set up in the right servers, and Cease's Thesis is only the tip of the iceberg. In the description, I left you a link to every Scrim server for every region, so no matter where you're watching this video from, you can find a place to play stacked scrims. And if you plan on playing in any stacked scrims or any competitive events in general, you need a PC that keeps up with the pros. That's why I use a LandForge built PC. LandForge is changing the landscape of professional gaming with high performance PCs trusted by your favorite pros. Built by experts to deliver consistent FPS, giving you a reliable and stable experience. No more dropped frames, no more excuses. With LandForge, every build comes with a 1-year warranty, so you can focus on playing at your best and not stressing over your setup. The LandForge launch sale is live right now for a limited time. Be quick and get $100 off any LandForge PC. It's time for you to level up your grind and start dominating every fight with a PC built for champions. Thank you again to LandForge for sponsoring this video. I'm going to share with you a pro secret that myself and other tier 1 pros have been using for years. It all starts in the Cease's Thesis Discord, where you'll be able to head to the directory channel and you'll find some really helpful videos that you can use to watch later. You'll also see that there is a link to a template Discord server that is a cheat code for improving at the game. In there, you'll be able to make your very own Discord server where all my pro notes are going to be included. Everything you need to know about the competitive season. You'll be able to create a schedule, take good notes, and write out all your game plans. The reason this is so important is because a key step to going pro is acting the part. All of your favorite pro players use these template Discords to take high-level notes on things they see when they VOD review gameplay. Notes are great, don't get me wrong, but the real appeal to having one of these Discord servers is the plug-and-play system it allows you to have. If you have all of your game plans written down in the Discord with all the different scenarios that you may encounter, it will make the game so much easier. Any teammate you play with will be able to understand everything you do at a high level and will boost the chances of them continuing to play with you in the future, which is great for up-and-coming players. Overall, Discord is a great thing, and I could spend hours going over the uses and features, so for time purposes, let's get into something that you need to get good at if you truly want to go pro in Fortnite: VOD reviewing. This is a concept that has been talked about in pretty much every how to go pro video since the beginning of time, but nobody actually tells you how to VOD review like a pro and how to navigate Fortnite replay system. Good VOD reviewing starts with understanding that you're making mistakes in your gameplay, but you just can't quite figure out every single one. To fix that, there are two ways to VOD review: VODing your own gameplay and VODing other pro players' gameplay. Someone like Peterbot or Cold would be a great example of pros to VOD review. Let's start by getting the controls of replays down, because once you have that burned into your mind, it makes VOD reviewing 10 times easier and more enjoyable. VOD reviewing is best to do on keyboard and mouse, so if you play controller, I suggest you switch over to keyboard and mouse for VOD reviewing. Scroll wheel up and down allows you to adjust your view, as you can see here. To get different viewpoints, the numbers on your keyboard are going to be able to do that. 1 puts you in third person, 2 is for drone follow, 3 is for drone attach, 4 is for drone 3 to get a bird's eye view on the game, and finally 5 is for gameplay footage. In most situations, you'll only want to use 4 and 5. Keep in mind that pressing the R button snaps you back onto the player that you were just watching, making VOD reviewing that much easier and faster for you. If you don't have a mouse, X and Z can be used to adjust the view, so remember that if you're going into replays without a mouse. Now that you know how to navigate replays, you need to know how to make the most out of VOD reviewing gameplay. Since you already have a Discord server catered to helping you improve, you can put all these notes right there in the Discord for you to continuously look back on. Make sure you write down everything you see, no matter who you're watching, so you can pick up on what the pros do right and what you do wrong. Taking notes is a key part of VOD reviewing, and it allows you to look back on what you're able to notice. For pretty much the last 6 years, I have been using a program called ShareX, which is a great tool for taking notes. It allows you to quickly capture images on replays while being able to draw and add stuff to them. This will allow you to go the extra mile while explaining something to your team or being able to visualize your mistakes or good things that you're doing in your matches. A great thing to keep in mind when you're VOD reviewing is think to yourself, what could I have done? Fortnite is all about making decisions, and sometimes you make the wrong one completely. So when you go back, take note of that. Look and see what you could have done to prevent the outcome. If you whitelined to zone, ended up losing 400 mats and all of your shield, go back in replays and see if there's another route that you could have gone. Go along with this, you can do the same thing when you're VOD reviewing high level pros. See what they do right, why they do it, and understand why it works for them. If you can put all these tools together, taking notes with ShareX and being able to take a different perspective while VOD reviewing, there's no reason why you shouldn't see major improvement. At this point in the video, you have 3 incredibly important skills that are necessary for going pro. It's now time for you to put it all together. One of the most important parts of going pro in Fortnite, and even staying at the pro level, all has to do with scrims. These matches are simulations of stacked endgames that you would encounter in most major tournaments. Cash Cups, FNCS, and scrims are all here to help you prepare for the big moments of your Fortnite tournaments. To get the absolute most out of these matches, it is vital that you take them very seriously and treat them as if you were playing in an FNCS Grand Finals. Since the endgame is where you get all of your points in a tournament, this is where you practice the most important part of the game. Once you master the endgame, everything else comes easier. There are still some things you should keep in mind while playing scrims. This goes back to why VOD reviewing is so important. There is no scrim in the world, not even a pro-only scrim, that can replicate the storm surge and series of events that would take place in a heats lobby or a grand finals lobby. It just isn't possible. This doesn't make scrims any less valuable or important, it's just something that you need to know going into them. Another big thing to know when you're playing scrims is to understand the win condition. The win condition is a position in the game, a weapon, or an item that your team has that is so overpowered that you basically have already won the game. A couple examples of this would be having height in the final zone, or your trio having all mythic weapons. Those are the things you need to be aware of and take advantage of them at all times. Moving on to where you can actually find scrims to play. You should know that it varies depending on the region you play in. For NA, OCE, and Middle East, there is a Discord called Vital that you can join that has scrims basically every single day. For EU, Noble Scrims is the biggest server where all skill levels are able to practice. When you're done watching this video and you understand exactly how to go pro in Fortnite, you can join the Scrim server links I left in the description. I put the Scrim invite links to every single region, so if you're from EU, NA, OCE, it doesn't matter, there is a Scrim server for you. If you're playing a Scrim, it's a team game mode like duos or trios, since those are the competitive modes for the season. Since most of you probably haven't been playing with your duo or trio that long, it's really important to pay attention to the next part of this video, which is building chemistry. This is easily one of the most important aspects of playing team game modes in Fortnite, and usually is something that comes with time. Once you use the tools and skills you learned from earlier in this video to find a teammate, start by playing ranked and creative maps with them so you can get to know them as a person and understand their playstyle. Chances are you won't be as lucky as me, where all my teammates in competitive were my friends first, so it's important to be as social as possible and make connections with other players. I find that 1v1ing your teammates so you can understand how they play is a great way to build some good chemistry. Obviously, scrims and tournaments will add to this, but it's the time away from really serious scrims or events that will build the real chemistry. For example, take note of how your teammates react to things you say. If I were to make a joke calling my teammate trash at the game and they get quiet or upset, make sure you pick up on that. This is because the last thing you want is a falling out with your teammates or some unnecessary tension when you're trying to qualify for FNCS or a Cash Cup. Get to know your teammates, get to know their personalities, and get to know their playstyle. Once you have chemistry figured out, you can move on to the most important step to going pro in Fortnite, picking your drop spot. Ever since Fortnite competitive was a thing, drop spots have been a vital difference maker in the performance of a team. If you're landing at the wrong spot, doesn't matter how good you are at the game, it will make winning 1,000 times harder. A great example of this would be analyzing how Tayson picks his drop spots. Tayson learned very early on that he plays best from when he lands at a drop spot near the center of the map, a rule that has stuck with him in every single FNCS that he's played in. This is very different from Peterbot's approach, which is to land at the best POI and have the best loot. Every pro has a different way of choosing their drop spot, and that was just an example of polar opposite approaches that different pro players use to pick a spot. Let's focus on how you can make the most out of your drop spot as an up-and-coming player, because we aren't at the level yet where we can pick whatever spot we want. So to get to that level, you need to work your way up the POI ladder. POI ladder is essentially a tier list of drop spots all over the map. The mythic POIs would be in tier 1, with the edge of the map splits being at the very bottom. In any sort of open round tournaments, drop at the spot where you have the best chance of winning. Since there probably won't be other pros in your game, feel free to basically drop anywhere that sets you up to win the game. For set lobbies and high elo matches, this concept drastically changes. When Peterbot was just starting his pro career, he was not able to land at the best POIs, because to be honest, he would just lose every single time if he tried to contest. That's why it's important to work your way up the ladder until you become a more established player. A good way of actually climbing the ladder is by taking advantage of new drop spots that are released with the new season. Typically, very powerful POIs are the ones that Fortnite decides to add to the map each season, meaning there is a mythic to be won and nobody has mastered the spot. This can give an up-and-coming player like yourself the perfect opportunity to grind even harder to try to outsmart whatever team you are contesting. You always have a better chance when no other team has experience at a POI, as opposed to contesting a team that's been landing at the POI the entire chapter. As you go along your pro journey, drop spots will change a lot with different chapters and seasons, so be sure to keep an eye out when you have a chance to upgrade your drop spot. A great way to do this is by mastering your drop. Dropping into a POI is the very first thing you'll do in a Fortnite match, and even though it won't always determine your outcome, it's definitely something you should take seriously and get good at. Sometimes off-spawn fights are won by the team that gets on the ground first, or the team that drops to the best part of the POI. To make all this seamless, there's a tool called Drop Calc. Drop Calc is used by almost every single Fortnite pro, and for good reason. It allows you to perfectly pinpoint the best time to jump out of the battle bus and where to deploy your glider to get the perfect drop. With that final step, you've learned exactly what it takes to go pro, from finding teammates to using Discord and getting the perfect drop to dominate every off spawn. These tips got me to where I am today, and there's nothing stopping you from achieving whatever you set your mind to. On my channel, you'll find tons of improvement videos to help you in every aspect of the game. And for more advanced tips, you can check out my CSIS Thesis channel, where I VOD review pro players and live coach members in my Discord to their first earnings. In the description, I left a bunch of links to Discord servers to help you improve, even a place that you can book a one-on-one exclusive coaching session with me. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss one of my uploads. You'll never know which video will help you improve the most in your pro journey. I'll see you in the next one.